His new deal. We'll talk with Tommy Lloyd. I'm going to have my friend Lamont Hunley come on to talk about something on the program today. Arizona Wildcat alum, his brother Ricky, of course, is a coach at the U of A. But I was thinking about something that I want to discuss with him from an earlier show a couple months ago. So he's going to stop by the program. So we've got a lot to get to on the program today. Oh, by the way, you're going to have to forgive me today because my son is going to call into the program a couple times. Dragon Ball. I told you that he's not bright. He's not a bright young man.
Well, he's a bright young man. It's just he may or may not be making a rather rash decision today.
He takes after his father. I'll put it to you that way.
Okay.
The apple didn't fall far from that tree. He's decided that he's going to get in a boxing match. He's never boxed before. He has no formal training. He has no idea what he's doing. So the boxing match is going to happen while the show's on. So I told him, let me check in with you beforehand, and then your mother is going crazy, worried about you. She's like, don't get a concussion before finals. So unfortunately, the only time I can talk to him is during the program. So he's gonna call in before the fight, and then he's gonna call in after the fight, just so I know that he's okay. That's just being a dad.
I mean, and to be fair, I don't blame you for that. that is a good father checks in with their child before an inevitable
something stupid.
Well, yes, I suppose.
So anyway, we've got a whole bunch to get to on the program today. So let's just get after it. Let's see what's rattling around in my big old head. All right, here's what's rattling around in my big old head today. Tommy Lloyd's got a new deal. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. Tommy now has a $4 million a year deal to be the head coach of the University of Arizona with high expectations. We're going to ask Dave Hickey about that coming up here on the program. I think it's a great deal. I've got to know Tommy a little bit. I think he's going to say, bring it. I'm here to win championships. We're here to cut down nets. So we're going to talk about that quite a bit on the program. For me, here's my thoughts. Number one, he's locked in. He's locked in. He's locked in. He's not going anywhere. One thing that you saw when Adia Barnes went to the national championship, what happened? Boom. Other schools start sniffing around, who I want her. We saw that happen in baseball with Jay Johnson. You will see that. It is common practice. Whatever the hot coach is, go grab him. Well, Tommy Lloyd has made a commitment because there is a huge buyout, almost a poison pill, if you will, that Tommy Lloyd is not going to be able to have anybody come buy him out of this contract. He's going to stay at the University of Arizona for a long, long time. So he makes the commitment with a huge buyout. He ain't going anywhere. Arizona locks him up to a long-term deal. To me, it's not a no-brainer. It's a commitment for Dave Hickey. It's a commitment for Dr. Robbins. It's a commitment from the Tucson community to Tommy, and it's his commitment back to us. I think it's a great deal. But now the hard work starts. Now we got to cut down more nets. We'll get into that with Dave Hickey coming up on the program. Bracket update. Dragon Ball, have you voted?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so here's the deal. We have the Tucson's Top Cat brackets going on. You can vote just once in the first round. Here's the deal. I was a little scared when we started this because Buzz Jackson from Kim FM told all his listeners on the big country station, hey, I want to see you vote for Kourtney Kardashian to beat Steve Kerr. I don't care if he's Rich's number one overall seed. So all of a sudden, bang, we start these brackets, and Steve Kerr's getting crushed by Kourtney Kardashian. We went through and came up with 64 names of Arizona Wildcats from all walks of life. So let me give you the quick update. Steve Kerr has now taken lead versus Kourtney Kardashian by 56 to 44. That's close. That's way too close. Go vote right now. Steve Kerr going up in a first-round matchup at a Field of 64 tournament on Wildcats Radio 1290.com. Kerr leading Kardashian 56-44. Kenny Lofton taking care of business 75-25 over Mike Bibby. Nick Foles almost the same. 70% of the vote going for him over Lorena Ochoa. Barry Goldwater flexing on Alex Flanagan 75-25. Annika 100% over Katie Pavlich. Don Knotts over Michael Bates. Dr. Richard Carmona beating Natalie Golbus 71-29. Bob Dole 75% of the vote versus Lewis Litt. Rick Hoffman from Suits. Artie Moreno, 71% of the votes versus Caroline Rea. She was real close yesterday. Bunch of Arizona Wildcat fans got out there and voted. JT Snow leading with 63% of the vote over Kurt Busch. Geraldo Rivera is getting crushed. 75% of the votes are going for Chris McAllister. Geraldo only 25%. That might be a first-round upset. Dan Hicks is now beating Robert Sarver. Dan Hicks, the lead commentator for NBC Golf, leading the owner of the Phoenix Suns. Teddy Bruschi beating Tom Tolbert 75-25. Jenny Finch, the Golden Girl, beating Greg Kinnear by 75% to 25%. Amanda Beard taking care of business against NFL referee Ed Hockley, 81-13. Gronk, 85. Oh, wait, people are voting for Gary Shandling over Gronk. 88-13. Gronk leads Shandling. Jerry Bruckheimer, Hollywood mega producer, beating Nicole Richie 75-25. DeAndre Ayton has come back to take the lead versus Ron Shelton 57-43. Jason Terry now pulling away from Jim Furyk. Furyk was leading yesterday. Jason Terry, huge push today, winning 63-38. Chuck Cecil still holds on to a 75-25 lead over Richard Jefferson. John Hughes beating Vance Johnson 75-25. Linda McCartney and Antoine Kaysen at a flat-footed tie, 50% each in the Top Cat Bracket Challenge at WildcatsRadio1290.com. Luke Walton has 100% over Michael Behan. Michael Behan was Johnny Ringo in Tombstone.
And he saved the future as John Connor's dad.
Kyle Reese in
Terminator.
The original Terminator. Trevor Hoffman, 75-25 over Rory Sabatini. Carl Eller winning 75-25 over Denise Austin. Whoever Denise Austin? I love her, but all right, I guess. Savannah Guthrie beating Gilbert Arenas, 63-38. Bob Bafford beating Lance Briggs, 88-13. Sean Elliott, 63-38 over Damon Stoudemire. Woody Johnson leading Josh Pastner, 75-25. Linda Ronstadt was at 100% yesterday. Andre Iguodala starting to make a push, 88-13. Craig T. Nelson, 100% of the vote over Nick Folk. Terry Francona was losing. Now all of a sudden, a big push. Tito, 63-38 over Kristen Wiig. That's an update on our brackets. Go to WildcatsRadio1290.com to fill them out. You can vote until Tuesday at midnight before we advance to the field of 32. Daniel Susek got invited to the Major League Baseball Combine. Booney, our friend Brett Boone, is going to be an analyst looking at some of the kids are going to come out there. So we'll have Booney out there, and we'll get him to call in while Susek goes and shows his wares at the MLB Combine. You reported this late yesterday in the program that Ben Matherin will be invited to the green room. He's the first that'll make it to the green room for the NBA draft. Does that mean that they know that he's going to be a top 10?
And for everyone that is on Twitter that is reporting this, just a reminder, it's 2 N's in Ben. Thank you very much.
You know, he prefers to be called Benedict.
Yeah, Benedict. It's a very fancy name, Benedict Matherin.
Benedict Matherin.
I hope that's what they call him when he gets drafted.
I do too.
Yeah. From the University of Arizona, Benedict Matherin, shooting guard, going to be determined.
The bad thing about the lottery is if you get picked in the lottery, the team that you're going to go to, it sucks.
But you can be the thing that turns it around, and I think Mr. Matherin definitely has the caliber to be that kind of player.
All right, Game 4 tonight, Boston taking on the Golden State Warriors. Will Draymond Green, if you missed the show yesterday, we put it up on our website. It's also on social media. I had a buddy of mine, Joe Gomez, former WCW wrestler. We talked about what's it mean to be a heel. Why is Ric Flair immortal and everybody else just comes and goes? Ric Flair is one for the ages. Brian Bosworth was a heel for a little bit. and then he got trucked by Bo Jackson. We never heard from him again. Here's the deal. He explained it to us. If you're a heel like the great Ric Flair, you got to bring it every night. You can't take a night off. You can't have a bad night, can you?
But to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
So Draymond Green, challenge issued. Do you accept the challenge? You want to be the man, you got to show up tonight in Boston. No ifs, ands, or buts. The Boston fans, I will tell you this, I am so disappointed with the commissioner of the NBA. I'm so disappointed with the fans in Boston. I am sick to my stomach. I talked about this the other day. Man, we are just too angry. We are losing our grip on reality. Our society is devolving. And I say, you promote what you permit. So if you don't say anything, you permit fans in the stands screaming F you and chanting and carrying on. And I got a quote. I got a soundbite from the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. He should be ashamed of himself. Ashamed of himself for what he said on television this week. I'll play it for you. It makes me sick to my stomach. I'm disgusted by him. You want to talk about the NBA goes in the tank? You look no further than Adam Silver. He's the one who's pushing it that way. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong and wrong. And then you couple that and what happened after the Lightning Ranger fight where a fan got knocked out by simply walking into MSG and walking out after they won. We're going to talk a lot about this on the program tonight. What else is on my mind? Oh, and then I'm worried about my kid. So I'm going to have him. He's going to call in just a minute just so I can talk to him before the boxing match. He's like, we're a lot alike except when it comes to weight. I am fat and I wear a size 8 hat. He's a skinny little runt, and he's going to box somebody who's a lot bigger than he is. One thing we have in common, we both run our mouths, and we're not that bright when we run our mouths. So he's going to check in with us before his big boxing match today. And then I hope he's able to talk to us afterwards. Oh, boy. And that's what's rattling around my big old head right now.
I'm sure he'll be fine, Rich. But we'll find out in a little bit here.
I know. I love being a dad, but this part sucks. Dave Hickey joins us in the program today. We'll talk to him about Tommy Lloyd's new contract. And then my friend Lamont Hunley. We had him on a couple months ago when Julius Holt passed away, and something I was listening to our conversation the other day, and he reminded me of something, and I don't want to let it go, especially when I saw what happened in Boston with the fans just screaming, yelling profanities, and it hurt me. It hurt me as a human being watching that kind of anger and venom being thrown out at people. It was disgusting, and I'm going to have Lamont come on because one of the things that we talked about and the legacy that Julius Holt left for this community was grown men, alpha males, big rugged football players, being able to look somebody else in the eye and tell them how you feel. And I think we're starting to lose that in our society. I see that when I'm driving down the street and people cut each other off and they're giving people the finger and road rage. And there's just so much frustration, which is turning into anger. That's not what Holt was about. And what I was listening to this piece we had with Lamont, I said, dude, I got to bring him back on. We need to tell people it's okay to look somebody else in the eye and say, I love you. And spread some good cheer around in a world that seems like it's just going the wrong way. So that's what I'm going to do, talk to Lamont about that legacy that we cannot forget. And I want to do something positive in a crazy world right now. So that's what's on the agenda for today. Dragon Ball, are you aboard?
No, not at all.
You're not aboard?
I'm not aboard.
Oh, that's worse than yesterday. I didn't even ask how you were today because you're just going to tell me, all right.
Oh, you were asking if I was aboard.
Are you aboard on this train where we're going today on the program?
Yes, I'm on board.
Okay.
Why do you say aboard? Just say on board or not. Because then
All aboard!
I'm on board. I'm on the train or the boat or whatever it is.
No, if you're aboard, that means you're getting aboard. On board means we're already taking off. I don't know. You're the one who graduated from college, not me.
Well, you got to get on board before you can go aboard.
Dragon Ball.
Or abroad, rather.
Don't go there. You're just gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me fined like Jack Del Rio. Dragon Ball. I'll just leave it with this. I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
There you go. All right, we'll continue with you. We'll check in with my goofy kid, and then we'll talk with Lamont Huntley. Oh, this is going to be one fun hour of the program. I'm Rich Rare. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. We continue with you here on a Friday. Richard, Wildcats Radio 1290. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Dave Hickey, Athletic Director, University of Arizona. I also have a special treat coming up for you. Really, really good friend of mine, Lamont Hunley, is going to be joining us on the program today. But before we get to that, I talk about him all the time. He's my pride and joy. He's the reason I get up in the morning. My number one goal in life is to be the very best dad that I can. It's my calling. It's my passion. It's all I think about. I don't know if I'm doing a good job today. I need to check in, so you guys are going to have to help me out here just a minute. I need to check in with my son. I've told you, I talk about him all the time. I talk about him incessantly. People probably get tired about it, but I don't care. My son Rigney is joining us right now from the Academy, Merchant Marine Academy in Long Island, New York, because I need to check in with him. He's about to get into a boxing match. He's never boxed before, so I want to check in with him. He's doing this while the show's going on, and then I need to check in with him afterwards. So let me just talk to him real quick. Riggs, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello, buddy. How are you?
I have never been better, Dad. How are you?
I'm a little concerned, to be honest with you. Your mother and I both think that you're nuts. I was telling everybody that you're not that bright for getting yourself into this boxing match. So please explain to me what you think you're going to be doing right now.
So me and one of the other guys on the baseball team, who is one of my best friends at school, love this guy to death. But he and I like to trash talk. And so we've been having this argument pretty much over the last 2 years about who could win in a fight. And this conversation happens more or less daily. And so all of the guys that sit at our table at lunch were like, hey, you guys have been talking about this forever. We're sick of hearing about it. So either fight or shut up. So we're going to fight.
Are you going to fight or are you going to box?
We're going to box.
Okay. There's a big difference between the two, right?
Right. There's a big difference. No, we're going to box. We're doing 16-ounce gloves, headgear, mouth guards. EMTs are going to be there, the whole 9 yards.
Geez. You've never boxed before in your life, right?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so why? What do you think you're going to do? Like, I've taken you to boxing matches before, and I tell everybody, you and I got a chance to have lunch with Angelo Dundee, the great trainer that trained Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali, and you got a chance to spend time with him, but you were just a little kid right before Angelo passed away. But you've never boxed before in your life. What in the world are you doing?
Well, honestly, we have finals week coming up in about 2 weeks. Everyone on campus is just super stressed right now. So me and my buddy, we're just going to get in there, go a few rounds, let everyone blow off some steam, and just kind of have fun for a night.
Okay, but you don't know how to box.
Right.
So what have you been doing?
Well, I lucked out because a bunch of my buddies here actually do know how to box. So they've been giving me pointers along the way. And the plan right now, because the other guy does outweigh me by about 30 pounds and has about 2 inches in reach on me.
So you're fighting somebody much bigger. They have weight classes so people don't fight that are 30 pounds heavier than the other.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay. Folks, now you know the apple doesn't fall far from this tree. So, but you were telling me, I told people the other day, and I'm just going to bring it up because I think this is ludicrous. You found an app to teach you how to throw combinations.
Yes. That is correct.
What is this app? How much did it cost me? And did you actually learn how to throw a combination? And even more importantly, did you learn how to duck a punch?
That did not cost us anything. It was free.
Okay. You got what you pay for.
And yes. Well, now I can throw an actually decent combination, and I am actually able to to duck and slip out of a punch.
By using an app.
And the heavy bags we have on campus.
Okay. Please, please, please be careful, Mijo.
Now you're sounding like everybody else that's heard about this.
Well, your mother's biting her nails. She's going crazy. Like, will you tell him he can't do it? I'm like, if this is the worst I have to put up with him, if this is the craziest thing he's done, I got to let him go. It's against my better judgment, but please be safe, will you?
Oh, trust me, I'm going to be safe. Don't worry about that.
So where is this fight going to take place?
We have a wrestling room in the gym. So the floor is, really nice and padded, and we're going to be in there.
All right. Do you know how to put your gloves up in front of your face?
I do.
Have you?
I do. My buddies taught me that this week.
Have you sparred at all, or have you just hit the heavy bag?
No, I've done a couple sparring sessions.
See, I feel bad, folks. This is my fault. He said, "Hey, Dad, can you go on Amazon and send me some boxing gloves so I can start using the heavy bag?" I'm like, "Okay, it's part of your cardio workout. Fine, I'll send that to you." I have a feeling that helped spur this on.
Maybe a little bit, but I think this is going to happen regardless.
You guys had a weigh-in.
We did. The weigh-in was last night.
And how did that go?
Really, really, really entertaining.
Was it like the weigh-in that I took you? We went to go see Keith Thurman, and I had you tagged along with me while I was working, and I took you to the weigh-in, and you saw the guys like shoving and pushing each other.
Oh yes, it was 100% like the one-time Thurman weigh-in.
Who was pushing who?
I was doing the pushing.
And you were running your mouth.
Oh, so was he.
Ah, jeez. Rigney Herrera. All right.
Hey, what can I say? I learned from the best.
And folks, when I took him to the weigh-in, he was so mad at me because you were probably 8 years old, maybe.
I think I was 9.
No, you were older than that because I was working at CBS. You had to be at least 12 years old.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, you were 12 years old. And I took him to the fight, and they have the whole entourage there, and they're talking trash. So one entourage guy talks trash to another entourage guy. So I'm sitting there with him. I'm like, "Oh, no, you didn't. You're not going to let him talk to you like that. Oh, no, he didn't." And you're like, "Dad, stop it. Stop it." And I'm standing there just egging everybody on. And the entourage has ended up throwing down with each other. And you're like, "Dad, you can't do that."
I was kind of freaked out.
All right. Do you have an entourage?
I do have an entourage.
How big is your entourage?
My entourage is at least a solid half dozen people.
They're going to lead you into the ring.
Yes.
What's your hype music to get ready?
I've been thinking about that.
Do you have walk-up music? And
I think I'm going to use Wine, Beer, Whiskey by Little Big Town.
Oh, jeez. You've only been punched in the face once really in your entire life.
You're talking about Vegas.
Yes. I've told the story here repeatedly of you being punched in the face in Vegas. Don't get punched in the face today. You've got finals in 2 weeks.
Oh, I know.
You've got to pass physics.
I'm going to pass physics.
All right. Will you check back in with me a little bit later? Please, Mijo, be careful.
I'll be careful.
All right.
The more people I talk to about this, no one seems to think I'm going to be careful.
No, because you're not that bright. You take after your father.
Mom always said I was 100% your kid.
Oh, dear God. Here I am bragging about you all the time because you go to one of our federal service academies. You're a midshipman. And here you are. You're going to go box somebody who's 30 pounds heavier than you.
That sounds like typical mid-rat stuff.
Oh, boy. All right. Will you check back in after your fight's coming up a little bit. Will you call back in so I know that you're safe? Because I'm going to be on the air, and I won't be able to go back and forth to find you.
Yes, I will 100%. I will 100% call in after the fight.
Because you have to stand watch tonight, right?
I do, from 20 to 24.
You're going to look down the hallway for your country?
Pretty much, yeah.
Are you indoor or outdoor when you're standing watch?
Inside.
All right. Please be careful.
It's really long and really boring, and every once in a while someone tries to light something on fire.
Oh. Be careful, please.
I'll be careful.
All right. Call back later.
All right, I will. Talk to you later, Dad.
All right. I love you.
Love you, too.
All right. That's my son.
Bye.
Bye. That's my son who's going to get in a boxing match in a little bit, and I'm scared half to death. Dragon Ball. Help me here. I'm a little,
I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to do fine. So long as he takes into account this Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker style of fighting and just spend a lot of time dodging.
Run.
Tire the guy out and go for the counterpunch. That's all you really have to do. That is the perfect antithesis of the sweet science.
There you go. All right, we'll continue with you. I'm Rich Ferreira, Dragon Ball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is David Amon, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 3:39. The transfer portal continues to bear fruit for the Arizona men's basketball team after they bring in former Texas guard Courtney Ramey as he officially commits to Arizona. The Wildcats get another big recruit for their 2023 recruiting class as 3-star Texas safety Arian Parrish announced that he will officially commit to the Wildcats football team. And a third athlete has joined the world of the Billionaires Club as Tiger Woods now joins Michael Jordan and LeBron James in that category, according to Forbes. And another big extension for a wideout in the NFL as Hunter Renfrow reportedly signs a 2-year extension with the Las Vegas Raiders. That's what's trending locally and nationally on 1290. Still more to come on The Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
We continue. It's the Rich Herrera Radio Show on a Friday here on Wildcats Radio 1290. I'm going to change things up just a little bit, okay? So the other day I was listening to some old tape of the show, and I re-listened to a conversation I had with my friend Lamont Hunley. I've known Lamont for a long, long time. One of the guys when I first got to Tucson 20 years ago when I worked here the first time, he opened up his arms and welcomed me into the community, and he's been someone I've looked up to ever since. When Julius Holt passed away, I didn't know Julius, and I'm upset that I didn't get a chance to see what he was like in person. But when I read all the accounts and I talked to his teammates and his friends, he was a special person that we need his legacy now more than ever. And I was thinking about this the other day because I did a national show about this. I did a show here about it, that I just see the venom and the vitriol and the anger and the hate in sports in a way that I've never seen it before. I've said I hate the Dodgers, but I would never wish anything ill upon a Dodger fan. I just don't like the team. And I've seen us in our society, we're starting to cross that line from we can have playful, quote unquote, hate the Dodgers or hate Arizona State, but it's actually crossed the line. And when the Warriors were playing the Celtics and the fans were screaming, F you, Draymond, throughout the game, it made me sick to my stomach because sports is supposed to bring us together. And the fans that were just screaming and hating have crossed the line. And if I don't say something, then I'm going to permit it. And you promote what you permit. So I'm going to be one that's going to stand here on the radio, here on 1290. And when I get a chance to do the next show on CBS, this is going to be a big topic. It's wrong. We need more love in our lives, not more hate. People are frustrated right now. And one of the things that I took away from our conversation, I'm going to bring Lamont in right now. Lamont Hunley joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Bear down, Lamont. How are you?
Bear down, Rich. I'm doing wonderful, man. Thanks for having us this afternoon.
Thank you for coming on. One of the things we had in our conversation, I talked to you about what Julius's legacy is and will be in this community. You said, and when I heard you say it and I listened to it again, I started choking up. You've told me that, I mean, Julius Holt was a big, powerful man. He was an alpha male. He was a guy that you shouldn't mess with because he was a big, physical, imposing man, a football player. He was a big, tough guy. But even as big and as tough and as strong as he wasn't afraid to show some love to somebody else. And I'm getting a feeling like we're forgetting how to do that, Lamont. So that's why I wanted to bring you back on the program to talk about this, because one of the things that I took away from our conversation, I've been thinking about this for the longest time. You said to me, Julius wasn't afraid to look you in the eye as two alpha males, two former Arizona Wildcat football players, and just look someone in the eye and tell them how you feel about them and say, I love you. And I got a feeling, I just got this sick feeling in my stomach after watching everything that's going on in our country right now. People are forgetting about that, or they're afraid to, or we just need to set a better example, my friend.
You're so true, Rich. And it's in regards to my friend Julius. First of all, I appreciate everything you said in regards to him, but because he was such unbelievable person in this community, and there was so much he wanted to give back here in this community simply because of the fact of where Julius came from. Jewish background was one of those most roughest backgrounds or environments that a person can ever be a part of or come from. And, and he knew what it was like, to be around hatred. He knew what it was like to be around, bigotry. Someone don't like you because of the color of your skin. Someone doesn't like you because of what you're wearing. Someone want to just, take your tennis shoes away from you because they think that belongs to them. In reality, it do not belong to them. And he came from that environment, and he was able to come to a community like Tucson, who actually welcomed him with open arms, accepted him as the person he was. And it took Julius a long time to really, change, his mannerisms and the way he was, as a man. And, and those words probably would never came out of Julius' mouth in regards to telling another man how much he cares and he loves him and he respects him. Because Julius' deal was, instead of letting you know that I want to get it from you, I want to take it from you, and it's, these days in society, we deal with that every day. I mean, every time, as you expressed, you seeing it in sports. I mean, I see it in walks of life.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around, there's something, negative taking place and something, that can be controlled simply because of the fact that, how you want to treat the next human being, the next man, the next person, how you should treat those individuals. And the way I look at it is how you want yourself to be treated. That's the way you should be treated, the next person that you walk across each and every day. And, and I think, Rich, honestly, the game of football itself, as far as me as a person, and I can speak for Julius, and I can speak for my brothers, Ricky and my other brothers. I think the sport and the game of football, softened us enough. It was such a hard sport, but it softened us enough to let us realize that, there's more to life and that's out there as far as, beating each other up on the football field. Let's sit here and have a conversation with the next man that looks like you or that want to hear, where you come from, the type of person that you are, the background that you are, and get to know that person. And, and before you know it, this brotherhood comes upon us. I mean, this rich brotherhood comes upon us, and, that you want to share with everybody. I share with you this thing that my brothers has, Rich. We, every Father's Day, and we started this when our oldest brother died 20 years ago. But every Father's Day, we go away and we go to a city where there's a golf course, and we leave on a Thursday and come back on Father's Day, and we call it Mancation. We call it Mancation, and it's based around a bunch of guys. Started with my brothers, but now it's 20 of us. And so a bunch of guys, we get together, and we basically, play golf, but yet and still we create brotherhood, we create relationship, we talk about our families, we talk about, what's going on in life, we spiritual things, we bring things into the fold, that make that's important in order to move the ship move the needle the right way. And it's so enlightening and uplifting, once we walk away from that weekend, it just carries us into the next year. And of course, Julius was part of that. Again, my brothers are part of that. And, quite a few guys here that, Randy Robbins are part of that. I mean, guys like that create this brotherhood and this bond, that's pretty thick. And again, it's very easy for me to sit there and be eye to eye with them and let them know that I truly love them. And I love them because of, the fact is that, they allowing me to learn something about them and things that I don't know about myself that's teaching me to become a better man, become a better father, and all these different things, a better person in society and whatnot, and it's an easy thing to do, Rich. It's a very easy thing to do. We as a human body and a people, if we could just come together as one and just talk things out, it's going to allow us to maybe remove some of this ill feelings and hatred that does take place on a daily basis. Because, we got enough out there. We don't need it in our lives.
My friend Lamont Hunley joining us right now. Arizona football great, local businessman, community leader. And I was just thinking about this because that conversation we had about Julius touched me. Mm-hmm. Thought about it a lot. And my big thing is I want to be the best dad that I can be. I want to be the best man that I can be.
Right.
And when we were talking about Julius, it really did touch me. And I thought about it. Yeah. And I've been trying to do something ever since. I'm just trying to be polite. Because I don't even see people being polite to each other anymore. I will stand there and I'll hold the door open for a total stranger. And boy, I tell you what, Lamont, they look at me like I am crazy. So I'll stand there, I'll hold the door open at the mall, at a restaurant. Here, please, have a nice day. And people look at me like, whoa, because we don't do that anymore. Right,
exactly. It's a lost art. It's something that we were taught and raised to do, especially, the respect. And I was taught and raised by far the respect of a woman. To give that females the utmost respect than anything else. Even to this day, if I'm getting into a car, I don't care if it's my wife, my daughter, my mama, my sister, my colleague, I'm going to open the door for a woman, she's getting in and out of a car or as well as a door. Because to me, that's the proper thing to do as far as from one man to a female aspect of things. Because, you know what? How easy is that to just open a door to make it easier for them to get in and out of a situation? It's the easiest thing in the world to do, and then still you making them feel so special by doing that little bitty thing. But it's a lost art. The other day I had a little kid here in my store, and a little kid, he was, running around and things like that. And I said, hey, man, when you walk out this door, you go out the door first, okay? And you open that door for your mama and your sister. You open the door for your mom and your sister, and you let them go out there after you go out. Because I'm telling you, that's the right thing you should do as a young man. And I hope and I pray those little words I told that little kid, I guarantee you he'll use that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life. And that's what it's going to take, Rich. It's going to take, a person like yourself, myself, and there's others out there like us who generally care as far as making a difference for society and making a difference for people. And because, it's easy for me to sit there and smile and say thank you and say please and say yes, ma'am. It's very easy to say that versus these other ugly things that come out people's mouths. It's just not worth it in society for me. I spend more time being happy on every day of my life than I ever going to spend being, upset or crazy about something that I can't control. But if I'm happy, I can control everything.
I tell you what, I try to walk around. I'll walk through the Tucson Mall and I'll say hi to people. And you can tell people that have some joy in their life because they'll look back at me and smile, hey, how you doing? And others will look at me like I'm just so miserable. I'm so frustrated. I hate my life. And I think we need to do a better job of that. And this I'm going to talk about this whole thing with the Boston Celtics screaming obscenities at Draymond Green. Oh, that's not acceptable. And we promote what we permit. And if we allow that to happen, our society's going down the toilet and sports is going to drag us down there.
Exactly. And it's up to the Boston Celtics organization themselves to say that's not acceptable. That's not who we are as a fan base. It's up to them to put that out there, okay, and stop that. But yet still, if they don't say anything, of course the fans going to think it's acceptable and it's the right thing to do, And just like Thompson, the kid, he said, how dare you express that when you got a little kid sitting there right beside you because now he think it's okay to throw these F-bombs out there.
Yeah.
That's part of the game. That's part of the game. It's to throw these F-bombs out there. but it shouldn't be that way. I mean, look at what happened here at the University of Arizona when the kid, with the UCLA kid, he ended up spitting in people in the stands. I mean, and then from there, it turned into something even uglier and worse because the fact that we think that's acceptable and it's the right thing to do, which reality is not. I mean, the game itself is made to be enjoyed, win or lose. It's made to be enjoyed, and you accept it and you take that game and you wait for the next one to have a great opportunity to experience yourself. And again, the best thing to have is you can have a great and a pleasant experience with yourself and then maybe your kid right beside you, and that kid see those things, the proper things that's going on, and he's going to take that to the next generation for himself just as well. I mean, and like you say, we see and we practice what we see, okay? So now let's do the right thing so our younger society can learn to practice what they see every day.
Listen, I'm some loudmouth on the radio that stands here and flaps my gums and talks every day. I look at my friend Labatt, who's a true role model, who's a community leader, businessman, a successful athlete. He's the whole package. If you're not going to take it from me, you could take it from him that we need to do something positive. And this can all start with sports. We need to do something positive for society and not be the people that are going to drag us into the abyss.
Right, and I take that, and again, that's part of my DNA, Rich. It's just who I am, and it's part of my DNA, and the things that I want to see, make those changes and see those changes take place, and I see it and I preach it. I mean, I preach it myself, and again, if I can extend, little pieces of who I am again as a man and pass it on to that next generation of kids, be it a male or a female, that's my goal in life. I'm blessed to have two beautiful daughters, and in regards to what take place with them. And I know there's a lot of things that I have done in my life that my daughters see, and they play in that same picture, and they putting that same picture out there day in and day out. And it's to me, it's just that quite simple in regards to how I'm a respect the person the day that I see him, day in and day out that I see this person. I mean, and again, it's just a simple thing is, being polite, like you say, smiling versus, having this big old frown on your face, having a conversation with people. I mean, people don't even want to talk with one another anymore. Because they're afraid what's going to come out that next person's mouth, But yet still, if you have a conversation with people, you might learn something. And that person may learn something, that's real and sincere from one another. And hopefully we as athletes, and I'm not an athlete anymore by no fashion, but the guys who are the athletes now, particularly here in Tucson, those young Wildcats that's over there and the coaching staff. I mean, if the younger Wildcats is over there and the coaching staff can, implement that within their talking to the kids on a daily basis, as far as making a change and again, smiling and being polite, and putting that word out and that energy out in society, it can mushroom and hopefully come into something much, much greater than what we're dealing with, in society now. And, and again, we got freaking gas prices all over the place. We got, this crap that's going on with the politics, and I'm no politician, but to me, that's some of the madness that's taking place, that's happening with people. You got people shooting people up, taking guns and going into schools and churches. I mean, why are you that mad with life that you got to go take someone else's life? What is this going on in your life that you just really got to say, okay, I'm going to take someone else's life versus taking your own? I just don't get that. How do you fix these things, and how do we fix these things? And maybe it started at home and getting these people back to where they belong. And again, I don't want to get political. I don't want to become, a religious person, but they got to find God and find the church.
Maybe it just starts with someone reaching out and saying, I care. I think, and that's where I just, of all this madness, that's been going on, and I was listening to you talk about Julius, and I'll get back to this point that Julius had done it all, and he had seen everything. And there was it, and again, I tell my boy, you get bitter or you get better, and it would have been very easy for Julius Holt to be bitter.
You got bitter.
To be bitter, and instead he got better, and he made everybody else around him better. So hopefully, someone's listening to us today, and they just take a little moment, and they can be better and smile at somebody, open the door, be polite, have a conversation, be a little ray of sunshine, and maybe we make this a little bit better just by this conversation you and I have.
Yes, let's pray on it. Let's pray on it, because it's a lot of sadness going out there, and it's in our walk of life, and but you're right. I mean, those little simple things like that, if it just again changing one person's attitude, that's successful. That is very successful, and maybe a lot of people listen to our conversation here, and maybe we get more than one or two people. We get quite a few people here in Tucson listen to our conversation, and let's call it an extension of Julius Hope. Smile for Julius.
Smile for Julius. Smile for Julius.
Exactly. Let's smile for him and extend himself and within a smile, and he's looking down on us and saying thank you, because you guys keeping my legacy going, and as far as what I stood for and what I believed in, and making a difference for these young kids here in this community, and one thing I hope and I pray that youth football program is coming back into fruition here quickly and fast, and I hope and I pray that those kids look up to the sky and knew that man had made such an impact on their life, and hopefully they can, carry that legacy on and just say, hey, Julius would want it this way. Julius would want us to be happy. Julius would want us to do nothing crazy and stupid. Julius would want us to be here and be polite, be respectful for the coaches, the teachers, and our parents. And it can start right there.
I'll end this conversation the way I started it. Lamont Hunley, I love you, brother.
Yes, sir. And I love you too, brother, sincerely. And it's, like I tell you, man, when you can extend yourself and give things that you got in your soul, to the next fellow man, we're doing something right. We're doing something right here in Tucson, brother. So let's continue it, okay?
Smile for Julius. And I bet, who's smiling right now? He's got
Julius.
that. Julius is smiling. Who's got that smirk on his face watching the two of us talk right now is Larry Smith.
Oh, yeah. Well, they together right now.
Oh, yeah. They're going down there, and they're going, Smith saying, I taught Herrera everything he knows.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, I guarantee you, Julius not just smiling; he's crying too. I tell you, he was a big old baby just as well, man. he especially when you're sitting there and when it comes to his family and stuff like that, boy, he'll choke up in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat. So, but they watching down over top of us. And we got some angels upstairs, and they're loving down on us, Richie.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you.
All right. God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Take care. That is a very good friend of the program, a very good friend of mine, Lamont Hunley. Everything I see going on in the world right now, I just thought we needed to hear from him, and I love that, Dragon Ball. Smile for Julius.
Smile for Julius.
All right, we'll continue with you. Dave Hickey joins us next. We'll talk about the new contract for Tommy Lloyd. That's right around the corner here at 1290. We continue with you here on the Rich Rare Radio Show. Big news out of McHale Center. Tommy Lloyd gets a new contract. Yesterday, the Board of Regents approved a new deal for Tommy Lloyd. To discuss that, let's go out to our guest hotline. We are joined right now by the athletic director of the University of Arizona, Dave Hickey, joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Bear down, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, bear down, go Cats. Thanks, Rich, for having me. Really excited about the direction.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this deal, how it came to be. Give me the background on this. When Tommy came in, signed a contract, you knew you were getting a hot, up-and-coming, rising coach in the college coaching ranks, but I don't know if anybody would have envisioned how well he meshed his first year and the success that he's had restoring Arizona basketball back into the national spotlight.
Well, I think that's the key there is, what Tommy has done in such a short time, really stabilizing our program, bringing great stability to the program, and also, elevating the overall, success and competitiveness, on the court, and has really met all of those standards that are really important for on the court for our program, but as well, just a tremendous leader off the court, developing our student athletes, building a great staff around our student athletes and around the program, great recruiter, all of those elements, and it just became really apparent to us that we want to continue to make the kind of commitment that an elite level basketball program that desires to have an elite level, high performing head coach. It was time to make a commitment to Tommy.
You've talked about this in the past, that you want to invest in those type of coaches. You want to invest in facilities. You want to make sure that you make that commitment to keep Arizona a championship caliber team. Is that one of those things where, we saw what Adia did. She's earned a new contract. We've seen what Tommy's done. Now he has a new deal.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. It's important to invest in people. Important to invest in high-performing people. That's common all across the spectrum. You want to have high-performing people in your organization, whether you're running a business, whether you're running an athletic department, a basketball program, whatever that is. You need high-performing people, and we're going to invest in the people because that's important for our programs. And when we see people who can lead programs and put those programs in a position to be successful and be able to sustain that success, that's important. We need those folks around.
There's the statement and then there's the action. The statement to me seems like for you and Dr. Robbins and the University of Arizona, we're going to invest in our people. And it also, I think, says something to the coaches that are here or the ones that don't ever think about wanting to come here. If you come here and you have success, you'll have the support to build this into the biggest program that you could possibly imagine.
Want our programs to meet all the goals that they have, want us to be competitive on a national landscape. And again, that's back to investing in those people. And yes, when you come here and you can do those things, we want you to stay. We want you to be here for a long time. We want to show our commitment to you. And likewise, these long-term kind of contracts, these significant contracts, show commitment on the other side. I believe in this case, this is a great commitment from Tommy, and he's excited about the future and being here for a long time, and really continuing to build and lead this program to new levels of success.
For the fans, how do you weigh that? Because obviously you've made a significant investment in Tommy, and people probably might not have this first come to their mind, but Tommy's made a huge investment in the University of Arizona, signing this long-term deal that does have buyouts that are pretty significant. Tommy Lloyd has made a commitment and cast his die in Tucson, Arizona for a long time.
Agreed. I think those are the pieces of contracts. Compensation is certainly important, but then those clauses of buyouts are important as well. They show commitment on both sides that we truly believe in each other. We want to go about this together and move forward together to keep building. Consistency of staff, consistency and continuity of people is very important to building strong programs. And that's what we want to do on these longer term, huge, very large investments, and we want to do it the right way. And so, again, for the listeners too, per protocol in this state, our coaches can sign up to 5-year deals. That is a Board of Regents policy, and that's our long-term deal. We want to keep him on that full 5-year deal. That's why we went up, redid the compensation, and then added the additional year.
Wow, what a difference. I remember Larry Smith, the former Arizona football coach, when he went to the University of Southern California, one of the things that he begged for years and years ago, this is 30, 40 years ago, he begged, can I get multi-year contracts for my coaches, for myself, so we can make our commitment? And way back then, the state of Arizona didn't allow these multi-year contracts. Lute Olson came and said, I'd like to have a long-term contract. Can we change it? They actually changed the law. So I love the fact that now you're maxing out as far as you can go with Tommy Lloyd, and the commitment goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you have to work within the parameters, and there's good reasons for all of those, and people have been thoughtful. We want to work within the parameters that we have here with our regents, the system board, and the state of Arizona. And again, we believe that we have a tremendous university, an incredible athletic program that right now has just such a great feel to it. Really positive feel that people want to be around and is moving in a very positive direction. And again, we have the tools, we have the investments in the program so coaches can be successful. All those things together build the reasons for why coaches and why administrations want to partner up and do things. I love to partner with our coaches. I love it to be a partnership so we can go about this together, set those goals, determine what's most important, help our coaches and our student athletes meet their goals and win championships, and again be a great point of pride for our alums and for our university and for our fan base that follows our programs so closely. And certainly in basketball, this is a gold star, blue blood, whatever you want to call it, program. This is a rock star program. This is a huge, not only national but international brand that puts the Block A and puts the University of Arizona right there at the top mantle. And it's very important, and I am incredibly enthusiastic, absolutely confident that Tommy Lloyd is the right man to lead our program, and just, again, couldn't be more excited about having him here.
I don't know how much you're able to or you can share some of the backstory of this, but how did the conversations go when the two of you got together? Was it immediate, like, yeah, I want you, Tommy? Tommy goes, I want to be here. Let's make this happen. Talk to us about the conversations leading up to the contract.
Well, obviously we were having a very successful season. Again, maybe back to where we started with the conversation. We knew we had hired a very talented individual who was the right person, and he had made a commitment and probably said, "Hey, I'm willing to jump on board, and I know we're going to build something big." And that had always been the conversation. Hey, let's do this together. Let's continue to invest in each other, and continue to take the program, to new levels. And so this was not a difficult process. It wasn't. There was no angst in it. It wasn't abrasive in any way. I think this is the kind of conversations you have with people when you know that it's important to continue to invest in people and invest in leadership and invest in people that want to be here at the University of Arizona, want to be connected to our fan base. So it was just trying to do the right things for the good people that we have here.
Is there anything that we need to know about in the contract, in the deal that we see? I know the buyouts are huge, which means Tommy's going to stay here for a long time. There's also language in case anything happens with the NCAA. Is there anything in there that fans should know about that'll make them feel very comfortable about the deal that you just struck?
Well, I hope the main thing that they can see is that we've got a really good basketball coach that we feel great about, and that's going to be here for a while, and that's what we want to do. And I mean, contracts probably get a little bit overblown. They get talked about too much, and again, I commend Tommy. He's got a great staff. Let's not forget all the other players, staff. It takes a lot of people to do this, and to do that, and he's done that as the leader of our program. And he's the first to always step back and say, hey, it's about putting the pieces together, and a lot of people contributed to this success and the opportunity for him to be where he is today. But the contract is, I believe, very solid. It shows commitment on both sides. It shows that we want to keep moving things forward. it has all the customary protections and language that are necessary in these kind of deals, but mainly shows that we've got a really good thing going, and we want to keep doing it together.
Next step on this, how does this help continue this upward trajectory we have for Arizona basketball now that you know that Tommy's going to be here? The recruits are going to know that Tommy's here and he's committed. He could keep building one of the best coaching staffs. I mean, you look at Jack Murphy, you look at Coach Rob, you look at Ricardo Foyce, you look at that everybody that we've have on this coaching staff. That's an impressive coaching staff. The support staff he's put together, I think that's going to make them solid, and they know we have a home and we're going to be here in Tucson for a long time. How does this help continue that glide path to success?
Again, it shows the commitment to continuity, to consistency. Yes, when you talk to when you need to rebuild staffs or retool staffs, or obviously in the recruiting area, the success that we obtained last year. We're going to do this for a long time. So having those longer term deals are good on all the fronts that you talked about. Consistency, continuity. We invest. We want to be successful. We want to be at the highest level. We want to compete for national championships. We want to win Pac-12 championships. And that's what we're in it for. This is an elite level program, and we're going to continue to invest in it. I think it says all of those things, and that shows great stability and a bright future that people on all levels, staffing side and potential student athlete side, all want to be a part of.
Was there a moment? I'll tell you, for me, the moment was probably game day, and I spent some time with you that morning. When they were on campus, that you said Arizona's back. And I thought actually that day, boy, you know what? I want to make sure Tommy Lloyd's here for a long, long time. Was there a moment where you or Dr. Robbins said, you know what? We hit a home run. We need to make sure that we keep this guy here forever?
Well, again, I thought we hit a pretty solid shot when we were able to bring Tommy here. We were very convinced, and Dr. Robbins and I both, that he was the right person for this job. And a lot of talented people out there. There's a lot of great coaches and a lot of people who had interest in it. Certainly was the right fit at the right time. As I say often, you've got to try to get that. And I don't know if there was one moment. I think we saw the momentum build through the year. There were some really remarkable nights. There were some games where you felt like, wow, McHale is back. This is back. This is where we want to be. The energy, the passion around it, you could really feel it when you on game day or when you were around the arena. Or it's like, wow, this is a little different. So I think those were good. Again, indicators all along. Look, we didn't get into this at the beginning to say let's just try it out and it's a short-term deal. We want to be in this long-term because long-term means success. And Coach Lloyd's just done an incredible job. On top of all of that, Coach Lloyd is just a genuine, down-to-earth, really good person. As I always say, good people make good decisions, surround themselves with good people, and there are good outcomes. And that's what Tommy does.
And he really does fit in our community, like you said. And I remember this. You said, when I hire coaches, I want them walking in the front door when they go to the Rotary or they go to do their coaches show or they're talking to alumni groups or they're speaking to kids. I want them to walk in the front door, and I want them walking out of the front door, meaning I want them part of our community. I don't want them just showing up, speaking somewhere, and they're sneaking out the back door. Tommy fits in Tucson probably better than I even thought he would after watching him 1 year and observing him and the way he interacts with our community.
Well, again, very connected in the community, really loves Tucson, understands that side of it, and maybe more so than in many places here in Tucson, how important it is to connect with our fan base and our tremendously loyal fan base. That's incredibly important. And we all, and again, this is we here, we all feel that way about Tommy. We all are committed to Tommy from the top down, from Dr. Robbins to our entire athletic staff, to myself. We're all in this together, and that's an important component, to be connected to the community. And I am a believer in that you need to walk in the front door and walk out the front door. So that's I guess that's one of my little lines, and I know how great a lot of our people are with that.
See, I write these things down. I remember everything that you say. I hang on your every word. One question. I brought this up yesterday. And we're talking with Dave Hickey, Athletic Director, University of Arizona. Final question. Does this change the expectations for Arizona basketball? Listen, here, anything less of a number one seed, people get disappointed. Now that Tommy has his long-term deal commitment to Arizona, Arizona's commitment to him, does this change the expectations of what the fans are going to look for, the alumni and this community is going to expect in this basketball team? Or does it just reinforce we want championship basketball, we demand championship basketball, and we have a guy that's going to deliver us championship basketball?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it changes anything. This is a blue blood Gold Star program. This is a program that is amongst the elite of the elite in college basketball. When you say college basketball, who are the best, Arizona is one of those teams. That you start going down the list with the history, the tradition, the winning, the great fan base, the iconic arenas. This is one of those places. So our expectation is to be great. Our expectation is to compete, and our coaches come into that and they understand that. And fan expectations and fandom, that world's a little bit fluid, and everyone has their different thoughts and opinions. But this program deserves to compete at the highest level. And there's a lot of factors that go into this. I always say it's not easy to win. We should never take winning and how we win or who we beat for granted. It is hard to win. It's incredibly hard to win championships, no matter what the level is, to go in, day out, win the games, get yourself there, and win the games that are most important to win championships. It is hard. But that's the expectation here, and that's where we want the program. And very confident in Coach Lloyd's ability to continue to build our program and position us to be amongst the elite.
Dave Hickey joining us here. Oh, by the way, congratulations on the GPA for the student-athletes through the roof once again. Somebody's doing something right at McHale Center, and I was excited to see that. Excited to see Tommy Lloyd with this new contract. So, Dave, congratulations on getting this done.
Well, thanks. And as I always say, the people that are doing the right things are those student-athletes in that area. The people that do the right things are the people. It's about the people that we have. That's so important to have the right people headed in the same direction. And I'm just proud to be part of that team, and we're going to keep working every day to continue to advance our program and be a point of pride for the university.
Dave Hickey, our guest here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Dave, bear down. I'll talk to you soon.
Go Cats. Thanks a lot, Rich.
All right, take care. Dave Hickey joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll continue. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball and the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Busy day here at Wildcats Radio 1290. I'm Rich Herrera. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA Finals, and I've got a bone to pick with the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. But our thanks to Lamont Hunley for coming on the program, talking about what it's going to take to fix a lot of the ills in the world. And it can all start with sports. Thanks to Dave Hickey, athletic director, for joining us on the program. But I've been kind of distracted on pins and needles. If you listen to the first hour of the show, I told you that my son, he's a midshipman at the United States Merchant Marine Academy in New York, one of our 5 federal service academies, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and the one that is the least known, they call it the best kept secret, is the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. So they just got done with their 3rd trimester. Dead week starts where they're going to prepare for finals. He's got to pass Physics 2 and a bunch of other classes before he goes out to sea this summer. But somehow he got an idea that it would be fun for him to have a boxing match for the morale of the regiment. And he decided to box somebody who was 30 pounds bigger than him and had a 2-inch advantage over my son. So I've been sitting here worried, like, oh, please don't get a concussion. Don't break your nose. Don't get hurt right before finals. Don't do anything stupid. The fight's over, so I said, call in after the fight. So he's checking in. Dragon Ball, you said he's not slurring his speech, so he's okay.
He sounds fine.
All right. Rigney Herrera joining us. My son, my pride and joy, my baby, Mijo. What in the world are you doing getting into a boxing match with somebody way bigger than you? So what happened?
I had the most fun in my life. Honestly, I think I might have had more fun tonight than I did in Vegas.
Oh, this is my son. The apple don't fall far from this tree. All right, Riggs, tell me what happened.
So we got out there, and the crowd was way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Wait, you guys you guys are fighting in the wrestling room, right?
We were gonna, but then we had to move it outside because there were so many people that showed up.
Jeez. Oh my! All right.
Oh, it was awesome. So I had my entourage trailing me. I had a crowd of people behind them.
Were they chanting? Were they chanting?
People were yelling, "Rigney Balboa!"
Now, fine, folks. Let me remind you, he weighs like $140 soaking wet.
144.
Right. Okay, 144. All right. Your opponent weighs 170 plus, right?
About 175, 176.
Okay. So you go outside, you got your entourage, people are chanting, Rigney Balboa. So then what happens?
Oh, so we're down there. Everyone that was watching was up on a hill. And then we were down where the mud pit was when we got recognized going from plebes to actual midshipmen.
Okay.
So we were basically fighting in the mud pit.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, and so my buddy was the MC. Kind of ran through the let's get
no,
ready
don't
to
say it. Stop! You can't say that. Stop. We're not allowed to say that on the radio.
My bad.
All right, can you hit the dump right there? Michael Buffers.
Thank you. I couldn't remember his name.
Michael Buffer has that saying before a fight starts. It's actually copywritten, and no one's allowed to say it. And if you do, they will come and take money out of your pocket. All right.
I was not aware of that.
Right. Okay. So we didn't say that, so we're okay. All right. So then what happens?
So one of my old roommates was the referee.
Okay.
So he has us come out, touch gloves, sends us back to our corners, counts us down. First round goes, and I followed the advice of my corner and didn't throw the first punch.
Okay.
So I was more focused on getting up close to him so the reach advantage wouldn't matter.
Get low, get in there underneath, right?
Exactly. And he wasn't punching. Then he tries leading off with a cross. So I slipped to the outside, solid headshot, solid body shot, and for pretty much the entire first round, I had him I had him backing up. I was pressing the issue pretty much the entire round. Threw some really good combos. Didn't get too eager. Didn't get too timid.
Who's landing more punches at this point?
Me.
Okay.
Me. So it was pretty unanimous. I won the first round.
Would your opponent agree?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. So you're slipping, you're punching, you're moving. You got him back on his heels. Then what?
Yeah. End of the first round, he has just a solid headshot. And I was like, whoa. I was like, this dude hits hard.
So he actually landed a punch to your head.
Oh, yeah. Like hard.
Oh, your mom's going to be so mad at me. All right, keep going.
So round ends, I'm back in my corner, and I'm just like, whoa. I was like, this dude hits hard. So they bring us out of our corners. You know, my corner's like, hey, stay on him. Stay on him. Do not let him open up. But I wound up getting a little punch shy, and so I wound up putting distance between me and him, trying to stay away from his hands. Threw entirely too many punches, wore myself out, and
so he rope-a-doped you.
He 100% rope-a-doped me. It was actually a thing of beauty.
All right, so then what?
So 3 knockdowns later, they end the round with like 5 seconds to spare.
You couldn't get saved by the bell.
No, there was no being saved by the bell.
So did he land a shot that just rocked you and knocked you on your rear end?
For the second knockdown, yeah. In the end of the second round, he had 2 or 3 just kind of vicious combos where I was just like, okay,
boom.
Yeah, I was just not ready for I don't think mentally I wasn't really ready for just that punishment.
All right. So what did you learn?
To give punches, you got to be able to take them.
Right.
And to stay calm, follow the game plan, and don't let getting hit rock you.
Champions.
Yeah. In this case, I made a bad adjustment. So I learned that if you make a bad adjustment,
subtle, don't panic.
Yeah, break away.
Get your breath,
reevaluate, and then come back with another game plan.
Well, it's like when you're pitching. If you give up a big towering home run, what do? What are you supposed to do?
Exactly. Breathe.
All right. So you learned something from it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And you're not hurt?
I'm not hurt. I had a blast.
And the reaction from everybody at school?
People were genuinely surprised and impressed. People were coming up and they were like, "Holy cow, dude, you can actually fight."
Well, there you go for the kid that runs his mouth. So, did you guys have a bet?
Yes, we did.
And what do you have to do that you lost? Please don't tell me you're shaving your head.
I will be wearing my dress whites every day next week.
So you have to wear your formal uniform every day next week?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you know what? I'm good with that.
Okay, yep. Riggs, I have to ask this question. As a part of the bet, are you able to wash your dress whites after every day?
I could, but if I did that, I'm pretty sure I'd mess them up, and dry cleaning is not that fast around here.
All right. Well, have fun wearing the same uniform every day for a week.
Well, we kind of do that anyway.
Yeah. So do you have to go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the whites?
Just breakfast and lunch.
All right. Well, there you go. Pictures, we'd like to see some photos.
I have plenty of photos coming my way. So as soon as I get them, I will get them to you.
All right. Well, I'm glad you didn't get knocked out. I'm glad you didn't break your nose. I'm glad you didn't break your hand or get hurt.
Nope. It was a ton of fun.
Are you going to do it again?
Maybe if the stakes are right.
Or maybe if it's someone your same size.
Also that would probably be helpful, yeah.
That would be helpful. All right. I love you, pal.
I love you too, Dad.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, bye. That's my son, Rigney. Because I've been, David, have I been walking around here a little nervous?
You've been a little nervous. It was basically the Braddock versus Bear fight that you were nervous about.
My wife's on me like, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get a concussion. They won't be able to take finals, and he's going to get in trouble. Like, just relax. He's wearing headgear. No, he's going to get a concussion, and it'll be your fault. I can breathe a little bit easier now.
You breathe a little bit easier, but yeah, like just thinking about it now, I'm surprised, like the historian of sports that I am, I'm surprised I didn't try to compare this matchup more to the Braddock and Bear fight back in the 30s. Only because it's like Bear was huge in comparison to Braddock, and had a bit of a reach advantage and everything else like that. So the fact that he didn't just outwardly collapse in the first round, you should be proud of that.
Yes.
It took a 3 knockdown rule to go ahead and finish the fight. He would have still kept coming if there was a no knockdown rule, I bet you. And maybe he tires the guy out. Maybe he forces him to throw too many big punches and he tires him out.
You know what? He made a good show of it. He made a good show of it. I'm happy with him. All right. And again, listen, folks, I'm sorry, but he called in during the show because I've been sitting here like, oh, please don't call and tell me you're in the hospital because you've never boxed before in your life. So thank you for letting me do that. All right, coming up.
That app probably saved him a little bit.
That app might have saved him a little bit. All right, Dragon Ball's going to do an update. I've got a piece of sound I want to play from you from Adam Silver. You are not going to believe how tone deaf this guy is. We'll do that next year at 1290.
This is David Amata, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 447. After the sudden stepping down of Quinn Snyder from the Utah Jazz, former Arizona Wildcat Jason Terry reportedly will be in the interview process for the open position. And the Diamondbacks now go ahead and start up their game in the major leagues out in Philadelphia. Bottom of the second, it is 2-0 for the Phillies. 1 out, runners at the corner, so a tough start there for the Diamondbacks. And the Hornets officially complete their head coaching search as they will sign current Warriors assistant Kenny Atkinson to be their new head coach on a new 4-year deal. And there will be no minute restriction for the Warriors guard Steph Curry, as he will be on the court for Game 4 of the finals after suffering a lower leg injury in the last game. As was trending locally and nationally here on 1290, still more to come on the Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, Rich Herrera with you. Rich Herrera Radio Show. It's a Friday. I feel better. I had to check in with my son during the program. He was in a boxing match day. First time boxing. Lost in a second-round TKO. Got knocked down 3 times, but didn't get knocked out. Didn't get hurt. Week before finals, you are a knucklehead. 100%. Anyway, today's program brought to you by Trajan Wealth. 321-4100, 321-4100. Go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJANWealth.com. You know what? Do you know who your financial guy is? I mean, when you call up, do you ask for him by name, or you just call some 800 number and just some random person picks up the phone and says, "Oh, let me look at the notes on your account"? Or do you have a relationship with that person that you're entrusting with all of your hard-earned money, the money that you sacrificed throughout your career to set aside for your family? What? You don't have that personal relationship with that person who knows your needs, your wants, your desires, your goals? You need to find a new person. You need to find somebody who's going to sit down with you, who's going to talk with you, who's going to help you identify your goals and then help you try to reach those goals. You need a fiduciary that actually is incentivized to grow your portfolio. That's what they do. You agree to small upfront fee, and then they work hard to increase your portfolio, because the more that you make, the more that they make. So they actually have a vested interest in your success. That's what they do at Trajan Wealth. Give them a call today, 321-4100, 321-4100, or go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJANWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All right, the Celtics and the Warriors are counting down to Game 4. This is a must-win game for the Dubs. Steve Kerr, Arizona alum, has to have his team prepared tonight. You know what else they have to do? Are you shaking your head at me? No?
No, just going through, trying to figure out a cough. That's it.
What would happen if you and I boxed?
Oh, you'd absolutely destroy me.
I don't know. I'm not in good shape.
I'm a pacifist.
You go to the gym every day.
I'm a pacifist, though. That's the problem.
Wouldn't you just sometimes just like to punch me in the face?
Even if I did, I doubt I'd have as good of a swing as the Rangers fan.
Oh.
Which I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let me get to what I've been wanting to talk about on the program all day long. Game 3, we talked about Draymond Green not being Ric Flair. He was more like Brian Bosworth. In order to be the man, you have got to be the man every night. So yesterday we had a friend of mine, professional wrestler, call into the program, and he talked about, why is Ric Flair the man that is universally revealed or universally beloved? Because every night he gave his best performance. He never left it in the dressing room. Woo! Every night you went to go see Ric Flair, he gave you an hour's show. He didn't shortcut it. He got after it each and every time. That didn't happen with Draymond Green. He just melted under the pressure from the Boston fans. But something else happened that I think is disgusting. The fans sat there at TD, whatever they call it. TD Garden. I know what it is. I'm just disgusted by them. chanting F you Draymond through the entire game. You promote what you permit. And I said it, I started to get into it yesterday, and I said, you know what? This is uncalled for. This is ridiculous. This is a joke. The fact that they allowed them to do it, nobody said anything, nobody stepped up. Afterwards, you got Klay Thompson. Afterwards, the Golden State Warriors were talking about what the fans were chanting, screaming at them the other day. Steve Kerr said, classy, real classy, Boston. Here's Klay Thompson talking about the fans and what they were saying during the ballgame.
What were your impressions of the crowd and the environment tonight, and how much was that a factor in the game?
It was not a factor. We played in front of rude people before, dropping F-bombs with children in the crowd. Real classy. Good job, Boston.
I think he's right. I didn't think it was right when the student section in Arizona did it, and I'm glad it was addressed. And if they do it again, I'm going to say something. You promote what you permit. So for Boston, I'd be embarrassed if I were the Boston Celtics that the fans stood there chanting that kind of vulgarity through the entire game. There were women, there were children there. That doesn't even matter. It's society. That's not cool. That's not right. And if you do it, you're an adult. And I was waiting for the commissioner of the National Basketball Association to say something. Oh, and he did. He was asked by a television station about the crowd and how they behaved at Game 3. And this is what he had to say.
What's your response to kind of how that all played out last night?
I want fans to enjoy themselves. I mean, of course, as the league office, you want to see it done with respect for all the participants, but I get it. I love the energy that the Boston fans bring to the game.
I no longer have an ounce of respect for Adam Silver, the commissioner of the National Football League, or excuse me, the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. Commissioner, you've just let everybody in America down. You've just let every kid in America down. You've let every player in this NBA down. You've let every owner in the league down. You've let the league down. You've let the legacy of the league down. You deserve to be fired immediately if that's your response. You deserve to go. You have no business being the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. And the fact that not everybody's rallying against this guy and having that not everybody's rallying around. I'm so mad right now. I got to watch what I'm saying. Are you kidding me? They asked, is it okay in your sport to have fans standing there screaming F you during the game? And you said, I love their energy. No, that's not okay. And for you to stand there and smile and smirk, yeah, the commission, but I love their, as a league office, but I love their energy. No, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That's wrong. You promote what you permit. So guess what's going to happen now? I guarantee this is going to happen now. The next thing that's going to happen is those fans will continue to act that way, and they're going to act that way in San Francisco, and it's going to keep going and going and going. And once you get that mob mentality and you don't stop it, things get out of control. What's going to happen if you have 15,000 fans screaming like that, getting all worked up, and they walk outside the arena or they're in the concourse and they've been drinking beer for 3 quarters, and you see somebody with a Golden State Warriors t-shirt or a jersey? What do you think's going to happen next? I'll tell you what's going to happen next. It's not going to be good. We already saw that. Where was Adam Silver when the fan went and touched CP3's family? I didn't see him out there making any noise. I didn't see him out there saying anything. And the fact that this happens and he goes, I love the crowd's energy. Adam Silver, you are clueless. And you don't deserve the job. And the fact that the owners, the board of the governors now of the NBA haven't immediately fired you after that, it's a blemish on the entire league that's celebrating 75 years.
And another thing to go ahead and mention with this is that this is not the first quote-unquote offense that you can put onto the Boston Celtics fan base and their crowds at their events, because let's not forget, this is also the same fan base that threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving when he was walking up the court in last year's playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you know what? I'm not even going to go to last year's. I'm going to go to this year. This is a couple days old. And the players have talked about it, and the fans have talked about it, the media has talked about it, and you have an opportunity to say, that's not acceptable in my league. So what is not acceptable in your league, Mr. Silver? What is that line that's going to get me kicked out? I don't know. I guess shouting F you at Draymond Green is okay, but if I look cross-eyed at LeBron James, I'll get kicked out because that's happened in your league. What are the standards now? You promote what you permit. And I'll tell you why. I've done this job long enough that I know what's coming next. There's an example of that happened last night. It was a horrible, awful, ugly incident that happened in the NHL. What was it? I'll tell you next here at 1290. Benvenidos, everybody. 5 p.m. here in Tucson. How hot is it right now? It's hot in our studios.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's getting a little bit crispy in here.
108 degrees today.
Oh, man.
How's the AC in your car?
Better now. I used to my entire 4 years of college, I didn't have AC.
But you went to school in Flagstaff. That didn't matter.
When I was here for summer, that was not a great time.
Yeah.
So, you didn't need need AC in Flagstaff. But
now you're okay?
Now I'm good. Now
Okay.
I went ahead and on my old car, I got the AC fixed. On this car, I still got good AC. So.
All right, we're talking. That's Dragon Ball, by the way. Those of you that are watching on our channel, wave so we can say hi to Grandma.
Hey there. Hey, Grandma. Hey, everybody.
All right, that's enough of you.
Yep.
For those just tuning in, here's what I've been talking about all day. Dave Hickey joined us, and you're going to hear that coming up here in just a little bit, talking about Tommy Lloyd's new contract. Lamont Hunley came aboard. We talked about spreading love and goodness and positive feelings, and we were talking about smile for Julius, talking about Julius Holt and his legacy. I hope will be uplifting instead of crushing, because everybody's so frustrated right now in the world that things just don't seem like they're going the right way. Everybody's angry at the price of gas. I put gas in my car, I get mad. I go to the grocery store. I went to McDonald's today. I'm like, oh my God, how much is everything costing right now? Value Mill did me fine, but everybody's so frustrated right now. And I saw this, and it just makes me mad. But not for the reason of frustration. It makes me mad when I see people drag us into the abyss and nobody steps up to say, wait a minute, this is wrong. So when the Warriors played the Celtics in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, the crowd was chanting, F you, Draymond. And I thought somebody's got to stand up and say something, tell the crowd, hey, knock it off. Maybe the players say afterwards, hey, that's not appropriate. I don't know. How about the commissioner stepping up and saying something? But instead, can you play the commissioner soundbite again? Here's Commissioner of the NBA asked about, hey, what do you think about the fans chanting the F word in Game 3 of the Boston Celtics Golden State Warriors series?
And I want fans to enjoy themselves. I mean, of course, as the league office, you want to see it done with respect for all the participants, but I get it. I love the energy that the Boston fans bring to the game.
I get it. I love the energy. So basically he's saying, hey, listen, the commissioner, I'm supposed to tell you guys, hey, knock it off. But you know what? Hey, secretly, I love your energy, and I love what you do, so please keep it up. You promote what you permit. I did a show on CBS about this. Do you feel comfortable going into another stadium wearing your gear? If I'm a Giants fan, can I wear that gear to Chase Field? Can I wear a Dodger shirt to Chase Field? If I'm going to a Las Vegas Raider game, is it okay if I wear a Niners shirt or a Bears shirt? If I'm going to a Phoenix game, is it okay I wear a Warriors hat? If I buy my ticket, am I allowed to root for my team if I buy that ticket? And overwhelmingly, people are saying no. If we'd gotten to that point where sports is supposed to bring us together, I've sat in the stands next to a Dodger fan, and we can go back and forth and give each other the business, but at the end of the day, we shake hands, give each other the bro hug, go, all right, hey, nice seeing you. It wasn't personal. Standing there chanting like that at Draymond Green, that's personal. And once you get that crowd revved up and you get that mob mentality, you know what's going to come next? Oh, I don't know. If I've got 15,000 rabid fans that have been standing there chanting the F word the entire game, mix in a couple people that had way too much to drink, do you think that's really a recipe for success? Do you think that's really a recipe of something good going to happen? Case in point, the New York Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning are in a Eastern Conference final. Rangers jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Everybody thought it was over. The Lightning are the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions. They've come back and won the last 3 games.
They won the first game on the road. This had been a home win the entire series so far, and Tampa Bay went into Madison Square Garden, stole a win in Game 5.
So now what's the series?
Now the series is 3-2 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay. So last night, this was last night?
Yep.
So last night, we don't have sound for this, do we? Is there?
Yes, we do.
Do you have sound? Is it clean? Can I play it?
I made sure to make it as clean as I can possibly make it.
So last night, two fans are walking out. One's wearing a Lightning jersey. One's wearing a Ranger T-shirt. And what do you think happened? Do you want to roll it? Let's roll.
You don't know what's up.
What had happened is the two are walking out. One guy's like, you don't know what's up. They're just kind of crowing back at each other. The Ranger fan pivots, turns around, cold cocks, just sucker punches the Lightning fan to the ground. One shot, bang, out. Head slams against the concrete. He's sent to the hospital. He's in stable condition. He's okay. You don't think the way that our society's acting right now and the way that people are behaving right now, that this isn't more fuel on the fire? Adam Silver, what do you think is going to happen if you condone this, you promote this, you promote what you permit, and you allow this to happen in Boston? The Boston Celtics players are like, oh, I got no problem with this, by the way. The Boston Celtics haven't apologized or asked their fans to stop. What do you think is going to happen tonight should the Warriors win and there's one person wearing a Golden State Warrior shirt? What are the chances of him getting the snot kicked out of him as this crowd has turned into the Roman Coliseum? Is it acceptable in our society? Sports is supposed to bring us together, not tear us apart. And for this to go on, and then the commissioner just to say, "I love the fan. I love the fans' energy." So you love this, Commissioner? Is that what you're telling me? You love this? This is how you want your league represented?
I want fans to enjoy themselves. I mean, of course, as the league office, you want to see it done with respect for all the participants. But I get it. I love the energy that the Boston fans bring to the game.
If I was a commissioner, ask me that question, Dragon Ball. I'll tell you what he should have said.
Do you what do you feel about the energy from the Boston Celtics fans in Game 3?
Hey, I love our fans, and our fans are passionate, and that's one of the keys to the success of the National Basketball Association. But behavior like that is not what the NBA is all about. We want you to come, we want you to have a good time, but we want you to do it in a respectful way that's part of civil society. There were kids in the crowd last night. There were women in the crowd last night. We cannot have a repeat of that, and if we do, something's going to happen. We're not going to tolerate this type of behavior by our fans. It's beneath us. This is a class organization. This is a league. This is a professional league, and I just won't stand for it. Said the same thing. Love the fans' energy. Don't do it this way. But instead, he goes, hey, you guys are okay. Go ahead and curse all you want. Hey, and while you're at it, maybe somebody can go out there and hit somebody's mom next time.
I love the energy that the Boston fans bring to the game.
I love the energy. Silver.
Also, just one other thing to go ahead and point out. That Rangers fan that knocked out that Lightning fan has received a lifetime ban from the Garden, which means that he got a harsher penalty than the fan that was at the Mavericks game that was trying to get a hug out of Chris Paul's mom.
And that's where I got. Remember, I beat up
Mark Cuban.
Here and on the network, going, "Hey, Cuban, you seem to have an answer for everything. You seem to pop off on everything under the sun. Where were you when all this happened? Because I didn't see you tweet anything. I didn't see you say anything. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And if you think it's acceptable, please tell me why. Please tell me why you think that's okay. I challenge anybody. Because it's not. And the fact that the networks haven't come out and condemned it, the writers haven't come out and condemned it, the NBA hasn't done it. Thanks a lot, Commissioner Silver. The Players Association must think it's okay for fans to curse at their players that way. If people are mocking, listen, I get Draymond Green as a villain. He's a heel. He's a jerk. He's all of that. But the fact that Dragon Ball, you watch all the sports media. Has anybody else come out and condemned this and said, no, this is not acceptable?
It's almost as if like they feel that they need to ignore the fans and just focus on what's happening on the court, but you can't do that. What happens in the crowd will affect what happens on the court.
And mark my word, I've done this long enough. It's going to get worse because we promote what we permit. Coming up, we'll run through the big stories of the day. I'm not letting go of this. I'm not working on the network this weekend. But when I get my next network show, Adam Silver, you got some splaining to do. I'll just tell you that right now. We'll continue with you. It's 1290. I just saw the videos of the boxing match at the academy. Riggs did okay, going in, attacking, and then as soon as he got in there, the kid just throws this haymaker, boom! And you see his little legs wobble, and he falls over.
But he is wearing the helmet, correct?
They were wearing headgear.
Okay.
So he's out there, he's pushing. He got a couple shots in there, and all of a sudden, he just goes, boom! It knocks him down. Just rocks him.
It could have been much worse.
For those of you tuning in, we're talking about my son decided he was going to box today. He's never boxed before in his life. Doesn't know how to box. And if you're going to box anybody, you should box somebody who's about the same size. He decided, what are the weights? What are the weight classes?
Ooh, how long you got? Because there's a quite a number of them nowadays.
Just look them up for me real quick. What would 140 would be a welterweight? Right?
So, boxing weight classes based on division.
Okay.
You were saying 140?
140.
140 pounds, you're looking at the super lightweight class.
Okay, so he's 140 pounds.
Yep, so super lightweight.
So he'd be super lightweight. He fought somebody who was 170 pounds.
Okay, he's looking at someone who's just a little over super middleweight.
So that's
not big enough to be a light heavyweight, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weight classes above. Well, he said he was 174. So Riggs said he was 144. The other kid was 170, was almost 175.
Okay,
so
if he's almost 175, he'd probably be in the light heavyweight division.
So he went super lightweight to light heavyweight.
So to put that in perspective, let's not forget James Toney started in the light heavyweight division.
Right.
Lights out James Toney was a light heavyweight. So that's the kind of size of person we're thinking that Riggs went up against.
Yeah, so he's not even welterweight. He's not even Sugar Ray Leonard. He's not who is a welterweight? Who's a super lightweight champion? I can't even think of a good super lightweight.
You're looking at potentially something along the lines of like a Julio Cesar Chavez, Roberto Duran.
Okay, Duran versus a light heavyweight?
Yeah, you're looking at like a James Toney or a Roy Jones Jr. or something in that regard.
Oh, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. I don't know if I'm going to show his mom the video. She'll probably hit me.
Yeah, probably.
For letting him do it. Anyway, here's the big stories of the day. Game 4, the Warriors have their back against the wall. Steve Kerr has to have his team deliver. Draymond needs to show up. We'll see how chippy this gets. The Warriors have a heart of a champion. They've been there before. They've done this. They've had their backs up against the wall. They know what it takes to win. Steph Curry did his thing, but he's coming off a leg injury. Draymond and Klay Thompson did not have good games. So what are they going to get tonight from Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Andre Iguodala got some minutes in Game 3. They need to play well tonight. Tommy's new deal is set, signed, delivered. The Board of Regents have approved it. Tommy extends his deal out, has a huge buyout, but he does get a big, big raise. We'll have details with Dave Hickey coming up here at the bottom of the hour. And then the other big thing we've been talking about today, Rigney's boxing match that he lost in a second-round TKO, going in as a, what do we say he was? Super lightweight, taking on
super lightweight
or a light heavyweight
versus a light heavyweight.
That's my boy. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree for that kid, does it?
The best part was that he said that it was the most fun he's had in a while, and he may do it again.
Yeah, that's going to make his mom mad.
Yeah, probably.
But he said that everybody's walking around saying, "Hey, I can't believe you went and fought somebody that big. You did a good job. You didn't disappoint. You actually stood there and did it." So he said that it was a great morale boost for everybody that's getting ready for finals.
And it's all meant to be in good fun.
He and the kid that were fighting are really good friends.
So that may have saved him. If the kid didn't like him,
if they were mean,
yeah,
forget about it.
Yeah, he'd have been in some trouble if they weren't good friends. So at the very least, he had that.
All right, real quick, program today brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore. Father's Day is coming up. Alert! Father's Day is coming up. Don't be disappointed, and don't be stoic. Don't stand there like, oh, son, daughter, I don't need anything from you. You know what? For Father's Day, I would just take a hug. And you say that because you don't want to put any pressure on them. Now, meanwhile, your wife will stand there and tell you all day long, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want flowers, I need this necklace, I want a spa day, I want this. Father's Day, what do we get? Mother's Day, we take her out for brunch, or we take her to dinner, and we get her flowers and perfume, and we get her presents. What's Father's Day about? Father's Day, you get the honor of grilling. You actually have to cook for Father's Day. And then you say, son, you know what? Just a card would be good. But you would think, hey, listen, look what I did for Mother's Day. Father's Day turns around, I get less than that. Mother's Day, I spent like $120 to make her happy. Father's Day, I get a hand-drawn card with nothing in it. Don't let that happen. Just be honest. Tell them, you know what I'd love to have for Father's Day? Dozen golf balls. You know where you can get them? PGA Tour Superstore, Oracle and Limberlost. You know what I want for Father's Day this year? Love to get some new golf shoes. Mine have holes in them. I'd love to have a pair of Nike or Adidas or Echo, Puma, New Balance, Skechers golf shoes. That would be awesome. And guess what? You could send them over to Oracle and Limberlost to PGA Tour Superstore. You can shop with the pros at Tucson's PGA Tour Superstore. You know what would be a great present for Father's Day? How about a golf lesson? Guess what? It's 107 degrees. They actually give golf lessons. They have PGA instruction. PGA members giving instruction inside PGA Tour Superstore. That's what you want for Father's Day. Send them in there right now. And here's the deal. If you mention Wildcats Radio 1290 or The Rich Rivera Show, they'll take $20 off any purchase of $100 or more, $50 off a purchase of $250 or more. Don't be disappointed this Father's Day. Tell your family, go to PGA Tour Superstore and make me happy. Now, by the way, just a reminder, restrictions do apply. Ping, Titleist, FootJoy, not involved in this promotion. Everything else, giddy up. It's PGA Tour Superstore. All right, we'll have a conversation with Dave Hickey. That's next here on 1290.